It is your Q girl Alethea from Alexander Q Health and Wellness, and I wanted to come to you today because I get a lot of questions about how I eat, right? Diet and nutrition. But instead of just general diet and nutrition questions, it's, well, what do you eat? I know you don't eat anything. You barely eat anything at all. And that is a bold-faced lie. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. I love food. I love food, period, okay? But I am more strategic in how I eat. And this is just based upon the fact that I had to build a relationship with my body. I had to get to know my body because, you know, the way that I grew up, I really didn't have any food education. I just had the food pyramid, like most of us did. And so when it came to eating, it was just like, eat what you can get. Like, if it's in front of you and that's the food available at this time, if you're hungry, you're going to eat it. The more you know, the more you grow, and the more you need to apply it. And as I grew in this industry and started attending conferences, doing my research, attending webinars, I realized that it was more about having a relationship with your body and a relationship with food than following a diet. So I use a 4-step process. My 4-step process is first plan it. So I have to figure out what I'm eating for, what my goals are. Is it to lose a certain amount of weight? Do I have a big race coming up? Do I have a heavy teaching schedule coming up and I need energy? Like, what is it? So I start with plan it. And plan it out is saying, okay, here's my reason for wanting to lose weight, even if it's just to feel good about myself. But here's my reason for wanting to lose weight. These are the foods that I have to eat in order to accomplish this. And then how am I going to eat on a daily basis? So part of that planning process, and I got this from my boy Vernell Bailey, called the Food Matrix. And on that Food Matrix, he has fruit, veggies, nuts, and grains, so all the essentials that you need. And in those different boxes, I plug in the different types of foods that I like and I would normally eat. And then I may, do some research on a recipe or so and try something new, but I put in those boxes what I like. And then at the bottom of that, I have snacks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then for that, I take all of those different pieces from fruits, veggies, etc. Now those are my ingredients, and I plug them into those boxes. So then I train it. After planning it, I train it. I train myself in terms of gym and fitness. I also train myself in terms of sticking to that particular plan. I want to know whether I'm going to cook 3 or 4 days a week. I bought food 3 or 4 days a week. So now I want to see how my behaviors adjust to that particular plan that I put in place. Am I going to exercise 3 or 4 days a week? And then I track it, okay? So you can track it before, but I track it afterwards. And I know that sounds a little backwards, but I feel like for me, tracking it depends on consistent behavior. If I haven't developed that consistency yet, what am I tracking? What am I tracking, y'all? Okay, what am I tracking? So I use a tracking method after I train it, because then I have some type of routine going, some type of consistency. But if you don't have a routine, there's no consistency there, then you may want to track it first, train it, and then go back and track it again. Certain items that I infuse into my diet on a daily basis is my juice. Everyone has different juices that they try. My favorite is celery juice. So it's celery juice, apple, ginger in here, and cucumber, and a lemon. And I'll have that in the morning, in the afternoon. I normally have it by itself though, and I like to have it in the morning, like when I first wake up. Something else that I also use, and sometimes when I run out, I forget to re-up on it, but it really does work for me. It suppresses my appetite, is Macadamia Nut Oil. So I'll put a link in here so you could do some research on it, but I'll put it in my coffee in the morning, or I'll put it in my oatmeal, and I find that I'm full for a lot longer. My trainer was telling me that it slows the absorption of carbs, so you don't burn them as fast, so you don't feel hungry as soon as you would if you don't use it at all. I mean, different strokes for different folks. I like it. I like the taste of it. It works for me, so do whatever works for you. I use the app Spark People, and Spark People is good for me. You have myplate.gov, you have different tracking apps, but I only do it like once a month and for about 3 days a week for a particular month. And the reason I do that is to see if there's a pattern in my eating, to see if my eating pattern has changed. Is it seasonally? Is it because of my period? Like, is my eating consistent over a period of time, especially if I notice a difference again through that relationship with my body and my energy. So I go into Spark People, and I'll choose like this week, and I'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll just track what I ate. I mean, everything. I'll put it all in there. And also what it enables you to do is putting your goals. Like, I measure everything. So I'm tracking, I'm training, I've planned it. Now I want to measure. I want to see where I am. And that's when a lot of us seem to abandon our diets, because we're like, they measure it, you don't feel like you lost weight as quickly. But it takes an extensive amount of time. You know, they say to change a behavior, it takes 6 weeks, 6 months. You know what? There's really no time frame for the individual. It's up to you. The same thing with eating. You have to figure out what your body needs, and you have to live according to that. You also have to live according to your values. So when those trend diets come out, don't just jump on the bandwagon. And yeah, you may lose 5 to 10 pounds, but you may find that you gain that weight right back. Now, if you want to try something new with your eating, go ahead, that's totally fine. But in that diet, find what you really like, because eating brings joy. It's supposed to be fun. And if you're always eating this strict diet, and there's nothing wrong being disciplined, but if it's so strict that you're not enjoying food, then good luck. Some people can do it. I can't. I like to find joy in every part of my life. And I don't overindulge. You know, I portion it out. And again, if I do and I track it and I realize according to what I ate the previous day, my energy levels are lower or I'm not as productive, then I'll have to adjust it. Matter of fact, I'll add that as tip number 5. So that's it. That's me in terms of how I eat. Do what works for you. And if you got your workout in today, Funu, I hope you found you in your workout. Namaste, sweet.